to record.
I'm not in the same room as you. That joke doesn't land.
And
My
you're
fish
good to
later. Hey, Stacey.
Hey, Chelsea.
You know what, Stace? I mean, I feel like I've been on the market for so long. I think they're about to put me on clearance.
Well, you do look good in red. But also, you're priceless.
Oh, I'm actually pretty darn expensive. Maybe I should go on sale. Play that track, Dave.
Buy one, get one free.
Why? You're so fabulous. Yeah, I'm single, ready to mingle. Yeah, I'm single. These are the reasons why I'm single.
Stacey.
Chelsea.
Stacey and our schedules did not line up so that we could be in the same space right now. So we're back to our normal Zooming world.
Once again, Freaky Friday 2020. This is my fault that this has all happened for the two of us. I mean, I was just like, Chelsea, I can't be in the same room as you tonight. I need to get my hair done.
Was that what that was?
Yeah.
But
But
I didn't
also,
even ask. I just was like, okay, honey, no worries.
oh, I thought I told you. And also, when I wake up to your text, sorry, I fell asleep. I'm like, you don't ever need to apologize for sleeping.
Listen. No, because I realized like I was talking to 3 separate people.
There's other people, Chelsea.
You know all of them. And
I mean, listen, I met this whole gang of witches that you hang out with every year. I'm like, cool. You just have other friends.
One of them was Stacy. The other was a boy. And then the other was another friend of mine. But Stacy, but I literally passed out during all of those conversations.
But I was done. Like, there was really there was nothing urgent for me.
But it was like business-esque. So it was kind of like, hey, I really need us to focus on this business thing. And then I just passed out.
I was like, cool. So I'm on my own. No, because actually I texted, then I put the phone down, and then I cleaned my bathroom.
Listen.
That's the beauty of texting. Like, when you're done or whatever, then you're done, and you like get in where you fit in. To be quite honest, so.
Get in when you fit in.
Is that not? Don't. Oh God, why do you do this?
Because I have the maturity of a 14-year-old boy.
I was thinking scheduling wise, you get in where you fit in.
You can get in where you fit in.
But, wait, so there's people that don't fit?
Yes. In both sides of that spectrum. Yes.
Should we do VWQ now? What? Also,
do you want to
thank you,
write it
America.
down so you don't forget?
I will. Oh, but also,
we're going to talk about penises later.
yeah. See how she just lit up? Like, oh.
Oh. Are we going to talk about male genitalia?
Oh, Lord. Oh, well, America, I apologize in advance, but also I don't, because this is why you hang out with us. This is reasons why I'm single. Chelsea's got you've got some Marilyn Monroe vibes going on. Just.
I put lipstick on.
The red lips, no, but your blonde hair as well, the way it's falling, and the way, like, you have this nice little pout, kind of, sort of, like, yeah, no, not that abrasive, but just like a nice, natural, organic pout. I'm enjoying it. I'm here for
it. Honestly, that pout is 100% because I'm wearing lipstick. So in the Zoom, I'm just like, oh, there it is. There's my lipstick. That's a problem. I know. Sometimes I'm vain. Sometimes I'm vain.
I bet
and
you
other
think
times
this podcast
like
is
this.
about you. About you. It is.
Love it. So, Stacey, how's your week been?
So today's Wednesday. Thought it was Thursday.
Again?
Yes. So usually I think Wednesdays are Fridays and vice versa. So the fact that I thought today was Thursday, I'm like, well, now I just don't know what's going on. I'm through. But now it's been a good week. I hit my personal goal. I don't think I mentioned it. End of October, but that's because we were out having fun with a small group of people because 2020. But I finished this personal writing project I always had. So I finished this book idea. It is 400 pages and over 100,000 words.
Wow, Stacy, congratulations.
Did it.
When do I get to read it?
Soon, hopefully. So I've been taking some webinars, met some other like writers and stuff like that, putting together my query letter so that I can start to pitch agents, because shout outs to people that self-publish. You're awesome. I don't have the bandwidth for it. And yeah.
Good.
So
Can I tell you one thing I heard from, do you remember in college when I wrote that romance novel?
yes, I do.
The best way to get an edit without it being a full book edit is to give one chapter to like 3 other people and just let them edit that one chapter. And then you get 3 different perspectives on what is essentially your whole book, but it's not tearing your entire book apart, and you're not asking someone to edit your entire book. You're like, hey, can you read this one chapter, see what you think about it, give me some notes, and then you don't have to take anybody's notes, but you can see what outsider's perspective is without ruining your entire creative process.
Look at you. Get you a Chelsea. You can't have mine though. I mean, I guess you can, but she's her own woman, so she can make her own decisions, but I'm possessive. I'm not crazy. I'm on clearance. How are you, Chels?
I love you so much. I'm doing well. I realized this week that I am no longer hip. I can't even pretend like I'm hip anymore. Mind you, let me be very clear. I never thought I was hip. In the last 5 years, I've realized that people are listing off like, oh, so-and-so on TikTok is this and that. And I'm like, oh, I don't know any of those words.
Ditto. And I always feel bad when people talk about this actress or that actor, and I'm like, who? Like, if they're in their 20s, I don't know who they are, and that's so unfair. But then I'm a hypocrite because I'm just like, you know what? Who is the next great well, for example, I was like, who's the next great Black comedian? Because in Stacey's fictional dating life, 2 nights ago, I was dating Kevin Hart. What? So again, my dreams are lit. My reality, we're working on it. But anyways, Kevin and I were at this event, and it was cool. And we just very much have the that's my man and that's my girl. That's the kind of vibe we had. And it's funny because in my dreams, I'm always the annoying girlfriend, and I've never been.
Why do you always dream about married men?
So I asked my friend the same thing. I was like, because then I wake up, I'm like, this is not cool. I'm not a home wrecker. I follow both of them on Instagram, and I think they're great. And they just had a baby together. I'm like, what is going on? So I talked to my friend who has a ton of she's always had real vivid dreams. So she interprets them a lot too, her and her mother. And she was just like, no, it's pointing out characteristics that your future mate will have. I was like, interesting. So for example, because the first one was Steph Curry. She was like, okay, so your boyfriend, husband, whatever, he's going to be a really good, father. Because we were hanging out with him and his girl. She was just like, so he's going to be a great father figure. He's going to be a good dad to your children. I was like, okay. And then I was dating Steve Harvey. And I was just like, what the heck is that? And she was just like, no, you're going to have someone that, they are legit on their career. What'd you say?
Has been divorced 3 times.
Listen, don't ruin my dream, literally. But she's like, no, you're gonna have someone who knows what they want, and they're now focused on A, God, and B, their career, and they have multiple streams of revenue. And I was just like, oh, because I'm the same way, very cynical, yeah, not his first time getting married. What is going on? I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. Zac Efron, I was just like, huh. And she was like, well, you're going to be attracted to them, apparently. And I'm like, oh, interesting.
I mean, who isn't attracted to Zac Efron? Everybody.
He's never been on my list, but in that dream, all we did was make out, and it was pretty great.
Because your kiss is on my list. Because your kiss is on my list.
Because your kiss is on my lips. You're the best thing around.
Is it lips or list?
Because your kiss is on my lips or on my list. Hey!
I thought it was list, and you're saying lips.
I mean, either or makes sense.
I mean,
feel like
I
it's
would
list,
rather have
though.
the kisses on my lips, but is it on my list, like my to-do list? I do like a to-do list.
What'd you say?
I do like a to-do list. Like, is it my to-do list? Like, oh, I gotta get a kiss there. It's on my to-do list. Let's be real. If I have a boyfriend, I won't need a to-do list for kissing. He's gonna get annoyed.
Thank you. I was about to say, what else is on this to-do list? Or do you have separate to-do lists? Like, okay, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I need some corn on the cob, some granola, and some deodorant. On my man list, okay, need a makeout sesh. I just feel like we need that. So we'll pencil that in. And whatever other goodness you want to do. But yeah. And then, so with dating Kevin Hart, I feel like I'm interpreting that as someone that makes me laugh, but also we just like have each other's back. Like that was the whole vibe of the dream. Like it was me, like if he was in front of me and I was behind him and I had like my arms like around his like shoulders, we're just kind of like,
he was behind you? No, you're taller than him.
No, I was behind him.
Oh, okay.
Hello, semantics. Yeah, it's fascinating. It's fascinating.
Is it? I mean,
can you be happy for me in my dream life, please? And thank you. I don't ask for much in real life. Can you please be hypothetically happy for me?
Listen, I have your back, and therefore I keep it real.
That's real.
I mean, that's just, yeah.
Right? You want to take care of some business?
I would love to. Sorry, I was just posting onto our Facebook at Reasons Why I'm Single so people can watch and hang out with us.
Hey, and you can always shoot us. You can always slide into our DMs or try on Instagram or Twitter. Same handle, RWIS Podcast.
You'll succeed. We'll talk to you.
I mean, it depends on my mood, but Chelsea will be there. I'm just kidding. We're both on there actively. So, Chelsea, what is it time for?
It's time for the fake name series of the day.
Ow! So the fake name series of the day is what we use to save the shade. So instead of using people's real names, we use names that are from the fake name series of the day to hide their identities. But if they heard these stories,
who they are,
whether near or far, do you ride a truck or a car? Can we take your car to the bar?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thanks.
Stacey with Dee for far too long. I'll absolutely drive. Because if I drive, then she kind of has to drink. Because I can't drink because she doesn't drive a stick. So.
Oh, solid point. That's one thing that I did not check off my to-do list of life. Write a book was one of them. Bam. And then the other one was learn how to drive a stick.
Stacey doesn't drive stick.
By choice. So tonight's series is The Good Doctor.
Oh, I have it right here. Sean Murphy, a young surgeon with autism and savant syndrome, is recruited into a surgical unit of a prestigious hospital. This has been on for a while. It's been on for a few years, and people really, really, really like it. Let's see. There's a bunch of lists of actors' names. And then
we will use them instead of people's real names.
Oh my gosh, that's how this whole thing works. It's very exciting.
Can you?
So let's see, Sean Murphy, savant syndrome. He's from the mid-sized city of Casper, Wyoming, where he has had a troubled past. He relocates to San Jose, California. We'll open up the rest. Oh, that's Santa Fe. Dang.
Not San Jose. But sunny Santa Fe would be nice.
To work at the prestigious San Jose St. Bonaventure Hospital.
Landscaping.
Oh.
So, can we backtrack a little bit? You were talking to me and another girl and a boy.
I was talking to a boy. It wasn't anything. It is a friendship with someone who may or may not have been previously not a friendship. But it's a friendship.
Oh, it happens
I mean,
to all of
it
us.
doesn't matter that I have a crush on him. He does not have a crush on me. So basically, I'm just beating myself up by by talking to him because that's healthy.
God. The good news is that you chose sleep first. That's what matters.
Well, the reality is, one, the conversation had nothing. It was nothing like, let me tell you this so you'll love me. That wasn't what the conversation was. Let's call what we need a name, Stace.
His name is Dr. Sean Murphy.
Dr. Sean Murphy. So Dr. Sean Murphy and I have known each other and Stacy have known each other for a long, 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 long time. And
For the longest time.
anyways, in a little tiny bit of my personal life, I'm buying a house, and it'll all be squared away by the time this actually airs. So you heard it here first. Your girl's adulting. So Dr. Sean Murphy was one of the people who kind of already has a house, and we had talked about the frustrations in this market and the fact that I am a single girl with a limited income, and so my options are small, and my house is so cute, you guys. It's tiny.
It's adorbs.
It's not like HGTV tiny house on wheels, but it is very close to that with a basement.
It's so freaking cute. It's
I can't
but
wait.
also, America, you need to know that Chelsea takes the worst video tours of houses.
No, so I'm doing the final walkthrough tomorrow, and I'm gonna, and I was like, Dad, I will take better pictures so I can send it to people so they can actually see the house, because I was so excited, and there were so many people in there who didn't want to be in the video that I was like zooming by them, and it's a bad video. But anyway, so he was one of the people who it's a bad, not like it's a bad video. No, it's just bad.
I'm trying to think. Do I use bad as a compliment if it's not a human? I don't know. That's all. Just me. Those are my thoughts, America. You're welcome.
But no, so I was getting frustrated because there were several houses I thought I was gonna get, and then I didn't. And I know I'm not the only person in this market right now who's the struggle is real. The struggle is real estate.
Girl, if that ain't a line.
But he was one of the first people who was like, oh no, I've got struggles going on with my house, and I already owned my house, and it took me a while to find it. And he's like, and even then it didn't have a garage, and now I gotta build the garage. And I was like, and that's a whole headache. And I was like, oh yeah, no. And so we've like, without messing with boundaries or anything, we just, like, I just wanted to let him know, because it finally feels like it's very official. Stacy knows I've been through a lot of like, it's been a roller coaster with this house. So
Love.
of disdain and tears.
It's funny, just talking about the process. So I had a coworker, Dr. Aaron Glassman, and he and his fiance, they were going to look at houses. And so our other coworker, Dr. Neil Melendez, him and his wife.
Great names on this show.
I know, right? We should watch it. So Dr. Neil, he and his wife, they had just recently started house hunting, and they finally found it. So then Dr. Aaron, he was just like, well, Neil, like, can you tell me like just what to expect? And Neil's just like, oh yeah. He was like, here's what's going to happen. He's just like, you and your girl, you're going to find this house. He's just like, you're going to look through it. He was just like, you're going to figure out like, okay, you have your list of must-haves and nice to haves, but you're really going to fine tune that. So you're going to look at a couple houses, and then finally you're going to find the house. You're going to go through it. You're going to say, oh my gosh, this is it. You're going to put it in offer and then you're going to get your heart stomped on because it's the worst process in the world. And you're going to go through it again because you don't know what you're doing. And you're just going to go up and down on a roller coaster because that's fun. And it's going to be awful. But then eventually you'll find a house that's like, okay. And then you'll make it your own. I'm like, that's the worst advice I've ever heard.
But for real.
Oh my gosh. Shout out to them. We used to work midnights together. Oh my goodness. And they were all like young, not too, they were like maybe 5 years younger than me. And so at one point we were watching, because we were at a cargo airline. And so I was working on days at one point on Saturdays. And so we were able to change the TV from the Weather Channel to college football. And so we changed it. And so Dr. Aaron, he was just like, hey, Stacy. I'm like, what's up? He's just like, and we're actually watching, I remember, an Eastern Michigan football game because he was from, Aaron was from, he went to EMU. And he was just like, hey, Stacy, guess what? I was like, what? He's like, you see them taking the field right now? I said, yeah. He goes, you're older than all of them. I'm like, why are you a jerk? Why?
Oh my God.
Like, disrespectful.
Unnecessary. Oh man.
Unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, no, so it has been a roller coaster, and I honestly, there was a point where everyone was like, so how's the house going? I was like, I don't know, I'm probably not gonna get it. It all sucks. I hate it. Like, I literally, and so it's to the point where like I close in 2 days. There's not really anything that can go wrong at this point, and I am still a little hesitant to tell people about it. But I made the decision the other day that I was gonna text Sean Murphy because he was like, when you find it, when it finally goes through, like, good for you, it'll be great. So I texted him and I was like, hey, you were right, I did finally get one. I close on Friday. So excited, yay. And then he literally was like, hey, welcome to the awesome headache that is owning your own home. and then he sent me another text message. It was just like, so other than that, how have you been, And I fell asleep. So I woke up at like 11 o'clock that night, and I was like, ooh, I can't respond. It's just not, I don't know, it's just not okay to respond, in my opinion, at that point.
Okay, first of all, my text was way before 11.
Yeah, but I fell asleep, Stace.
I sent mine at like 8:56 p.m.
Okay, do you hear what I just said? You sent it. I had already fallen asleep. I woke up again at like 11, and then I was going to respond to people, but I realized it was too late.
It, but also my conversation was done.
She was too busy being offended and proving her point in order to like actually hear what I said. Also,
I've made
Chelsea,
my point. What's that? I don't have one. Perfect. Moving on.
Will you please say hi to your friend Chelsea?
Oh, yes, hi. Congratulations. You're making it. Also, she's your friend too.
Yeah, but she's like your best friend from high school. She's in your clique.
What are you then?
I'm your best friend in life.
I'm so glad you can hang out with your college best friends so you can return home to your best friend for life. So extra.
But yet you don't deny it. That's the best part.
Number one, I'm supportive. But number two, if I could, I wouldn't, because America's listening right now. And America's has gone through a lot within the past week. They don't need to go through our breakup. Like, America just got their dad. They don't need to now watch their mom split up.
We are not breaking up. Oh my God, that face.
Listen, you're all moving out and getting your own place. I was like, okay.
Okay, first off, there are several reasons that don't need to be discussed on this show of why that comment is BS. And secondly, the first thing I said to her after I think I might actually get this house was, you can totally come live with me. There's a second bedroom and you're more than welcome. So don't give me this you're moving out crap.
You see, what's happening is that even though it sounds like I'm guilting her, she's actually just like giving me the resume on why she's such a great friend. That's what I'm doing. And she purses her lips like, I'm mad, but I'm cute. You see those delicious cheekbones you got going on right now, Chelsea? You can't even hide it. I am upset, but also make it fashion.
Oh man, I love you.
I don't like being angry unless it pays me money.
So, can we talk about an actual boy now?
What? I mean, maybe.
I need a good name.
I need a name to ride. We're gonna go with Kellen Park.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm just gonna go with Kellen, but Kellen
That's
Park.
fair.
So Kellen is this guy that I have known for a little over 10 years through the karaoke bar, but not like, it's not like he's only, it's, I don't know. I met him at the karaoke bar. We became friends outside of the karaoke bar. He doesn't really come to the karaoke bar anymore. Once a year, maybe. Like there was this huge group right before COVID really hit. Remember, guys, when I was talking about how the bar was slammed and it was like
American
every
Idol?
person that I had ever met at that bar in the last 10 years showed up on one night, and I have a video of it because it was like standing room only. Like people were standing and accepting drinks by the bathroom. Like the idea of that now would never happen.
Right? It gives me like a little anxiety.
I know. But they so anyway, he's in this group and he and I have been talking a little bit. Now listen, once again, this is where I've been corrected because I have a second job now where I work with 16-year-olds, and I've been told I can't say that we've been talking because talking means that we're dating in the youths.
In the youths?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. So you can't say, so I say if I say to you, Stacey, oh, we've been talking, you think, oh, we've just been talking, right?
Correct.
But do you remember when like we would say to each other, like to a friend, be like, oh, but are you going out with him? We wouldn't go anywhere, kids, but we would say we were going out, and that's how we knew we were dating. That's what talking is to them now. So, because I was telling this story and she goes, oh, so you're dating? And I was like, no, we're talking.
Interesting, because I was just like, your girl was talking to someone at the beginning of the year. That's I'm just like, but legit, we were just talking.
Yeah, no, you weren't. You were getting to know each other. You were some other form. You could say you were texting because that's still like
Is talking different than texting?
Yes. Talking means you're dating. Like you're dating exclusively. Yeah, it's stupid.
Oh. But I guess that makes sense because the youths these days, they don't really talk on the phone. They only text.
Yeah.
So
No,
they
don't even text. They just snap and it goes away.
Which is brilliant because number one, I feel like we would have ate that up when we were right. Like, because honestly, I feel like Snapchat was made to make you feel like a celebrity. So it's just like, oh, you have it and now it's gone. And if something was like a ride, just like prove it. You don't have it saved. Like,
what was his name? Kellen. So anyway, so I was corrected by the girls that I work with who are still in high school, who were born the year that we graduated high school, Stace. So feel that because I feel it every day. Yeah. Yeah. But they super sweet girls, and the like two guys that I work with, so nice.
Are these the same? Is this a different group of girls from earlier in the year when they were talking about playing swapsies?
Yes, this is at the bakery.
Okay.
These are brand new girls. These are high school girls that I actually work with. So
okay. Oh my gosh, even better. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, so I'm trying to tell them about this, and then I'll tell you their counter story. And then I told them I was going to talk about it on the show, and they were like, "Oh my god!" So
hey, girls.
so Kellen and I have been talking. Basically, Kellen and I have really like complete opposite
Texting. You've been texting.
We haven't been talking because talking is dated. We've been texting, even
Okay.
though we've been texting on the phone, like with a phone call. We had like an hour phone conversation the other day. And for those of you who don't know me, I love to talk, but I'm not like, I don't really have hour-long phone conversations unless they're with like my very good friends and I spill everything. So it was, but he like wanted to know about my like my life and stuff. So
What?
yeah, like he was like interested in me as a person. Because nothing brings me down from a guy that I could be potentially interested in than like send me a pic. It's like, oh God, dude, you know.
So don't you bring me down today. Thank you, Christina Aguilera.
Yeah, I don't want to send you a pic. Anyway, so I tell them all this stuff. We were talking about his family, and he grew up kind of the same way we did, Stace. Like he was in marching band, and yeah. And I kind of nicknamed him the instrument he used to play. And so like when he says stuff that like I kind of tease him about, I'll be like, come on, clarinet. And he's like, I feel so seen.
It's funny because I was going to say, suck it up, sousaphone.
Well, I'm the euphonium. So if you were going to go for alliteration, it'd be like, eat it up. But.
Oh.
So anyway, I need 3 girl names, Stacey.
Oh, girl, you making me work. Okay. Let's go with, you want me to just give you first names to make it easier on you?
Yeah.
Okay. These are all doctors, by the way, because women. Claire, Dr. Claire Brown. Audrey, Dr. Audrey Lim. And Morgan, Dr. Morgan Resnick. Claire, Audrey, Morgan.
Morgan. Okay. So
I got you.
Initially, I was telling the story to Claire and Audrey. Ding, ding. So,
Ding, ding.
And they're like, so what does he look like? And all this stuff. And I was like, guys, I gotta be really honest with you. Like the things that you are attracted to in a guy, I would go to jail to be attracted to in a guy. So
wait, what? How?
Because they're 16. So like when they like a boy, they like a literal boy. So they're like, so tell me about him. And I start to describe him, and they're like, no, that doesn't sound very cute.
They're like, that's gross, but we're happy for you. I remember telling my little cousin, somehow we were talking about body hair. And I was just like, listen, the love of my life could be as hairy as a bear, but it won't matter. She's like, are you joking? That's disgusting. I'm like, it honestly would not matter. She's
First
like,
off,
oh.
it grows on you. Secondly, it literally grows on you. Like, wait until she gets older and she's waxing mustaches and plucking chin hairs. But
real life. Also, do you know it's disrespectful? Chin hairs are like the little stragglers on your neck.
Yeah.
Mine come in white. What the heck is
mine
that?
come in black.
What the heck is that?
It's on it. It's an affront to society. That's what that is.
Like it just started this year because I know I've been like graying a lot more, which is why I went blonde because but also it's like the ones that come in, I'm like, why are you white too? That's so rude.
I'm offended. So
Yeah.
rude. So anyway, so I kind of described basically he's got some nice chest hair. He has dark hair. He's got a beard. And it's like short dark hair, and it's like he keeps up with it. He's a good looking guy. And I was like, there's a little bit of like salt and pepper here, but not crazy because he is 30. Like, so he's younger man. And then the girls, Chloe,
Aubrey,
and
Claire, and Morgan.
Claire and Aubrey were like, wait, oh my God, he's younger than you and he's 30. And I was
like, first of all, thank you. Also, don't judge.
And I was like, yeah, he is. And they're like, I didn't think, and then they're very complimentary. They're like, I didn't think you were 30. And I was like, Thank you. Eye cream. Use it. So
Listen, I was going to text you because I went to the dentist on Monday and it's right by the bakery. So I was just like, listen, like I'm gonna treat myself if everything goes okay. But of course I have like the beginnings of a cavity, which is disrespectful, but I'll get it filled next month. But so I got there, so we did x-rays, and the assistant, she was just like, hold on, we're having an issue with your chart. I was like, okay. So she leaves and I hear her talking. She was just like, is this the right chart? Talking to the admin. She's like, yeah, why? She's like, she doesn't look like she's the age that it says. She's like, is there someone with the same name? She looks younger. And I'm like, I'm here for this. Yes. She's just like, and she comes back. She's like, I'm sorry. I thought we had the wrong chart because you do not look the age that it says on here. And I'm like, you're amazing. And I will keep coming back here.
So it's not Chloe.
Claire
And Aubrey are like, oh my gosh. And then they're like, that doesn't really sound like, I don't think I like a beard. What's that? Oh, chest hair.
Because beards aren't a thing in high school.
No,
oh my
thing in high school. So then the next girl, I need the last one. Morgan comes over and she's like, what are we talking about? And then the girls are like, oh, we're talking about how Chelsea likes a guy with a beard and like we don't like beards. And I was like, okay, girls,
we were pink.
And I was like, girls, tell me what you're into. I already kind of know because when I worked at Ulta, a lot of guys would come in and get perms because girls love curly hair on top and short hair, but like this curly, like if a guy has naturally curly hair, he's the one all the girls are going for right now. So I already kind of knew, but I wanted to hear like, so what? Now here's what's funny. And this shows you just how like different people can, like everything can change in just a generation. Because I feel like if you asked most of the people who were in our grade, Stacey, that were when we were 16 or 17, like who was the celebrity we had a crush on? I'm going to say Leonardo DiCaprio, even though like that might not be right, but that was the thing. Blonde white boys, right?
The beach.
Yeah, just like find them hanging out on the beach. That's what we want.
Now my first love was Mekhi Phifer, but also
and then so then these beautiful little white girls are sitting there and I was like, okay, girls, tell me your, she goes, well, if I could just like pick my perfect guy. And then Morgan's like, oh, we're doing that? I'm here for this. Okay. So
girls are amazing.
I love girls. Love it. So Aubrey.
No, I lied to you. Audrey. Yes.
Audrey's ideal man is at least 3 inches taller than her, but it's okay if he's not, like, as long as he's got a good heart. She goes, he is tan, and she goes, but really ideally mixed race, because mixed race babies are beautiful. and I was like, oh, and then she goes, and I want really curly hair and then like really big dark eyes and lips. He has to have lips. And I was like, well, everyone has lips, darling. Like,
so she wants a black man. Okay, continue.
Well, she wants mixed race black man. So, but black's definitely in there. And then, what's the first girl?
Claire
said, she goes, yeah, I basically want the same thing. And she's like, but there's this kid at my school and I think he is super cute. And she's like, don't tell my parents, but he's black. And I think he's like the nicest kid in the whole class. And I was like, look at you guys. Love this. Boundaries and barriers are being broken. And then Morgan
go ahead.
I was like, this is great. And then she said there, and then Morgan goes, listen, I like Noah I'm gonna say his last name wrong. He's a celebrity. Noah Centineo, something like that. And
Santiago.
So I
San Diego.
and I looked him up, and he's like pretty much exactly the same description, but he's like Italian. And I was like, so basically, girls like tall guys with big lips and curly hair right now. Cool, got it. I knew
So
this.
Black people.
But listen, Black people, live your best life. We all knew
Sorry.
you were beautiful.
Hello. Sorry, I did catch an attitude, not fully sorry, but just like, but don't tell my parents. I'm just like, cause freaking
Well, because it's a generational thing. We know this.
I know,
But
I
look
get
at this
it.
new generation that's blossoming and not giving a crap. They're like, I love who I love, and I'm going to do what I do. I mean, obviously, when you're 16, your parents have control, so you can only do so much. You can't be jumping out of. It's not like it was when we were kids and we could, maybe sneak out of our house and, like there's now everybody's got security on every single window and door, and there's like a camera on the doorbell, so you can't even if you got the thing out, everybody knows when you left. Like you are under more of your parents' control, even though you technically have more freedom because of the internet. So I know I'm sorry that that part bothered you, but
no,
look
I
at
mean,
what's
it
happened.
is what it is, but it's just like,
It's such a
for those that are
different-
watching and saw my eye roll, that was why. But hello, clearly I know this is a reality.
But it's such a different generation because literally, like my parents, even if they found somebody who was another race attractive, would never have even said anything. It wouldn't be something that was even a conversation. And that goes even as far as my grandma, and my grandma's German and my grandpa's Polish, and that was a big deal. Like it's like that kind of thing.
How dare you?
Seriously, my great grandparents did not like each other at all, and like, yeah, it was a bit, and they got engaged very quickly. So it was like this whole we'll get on board because we love each other. And
you want to see these grandkids? You're gonna
But I
love
love
this union.
but I love it. Like, but they're all just like, oh, let's talk about boys. My way is so different, and then they describe the exact same guy. And
It's funny because I couldn't even tell you, because I was not boy crazy at all. Like I never really went
you
through.
really weren't. You weren't.
So even I'm just like, I don't even know what I would have liked in high school. I know like the one kid that I had a crush on, he was like the rebel compared to everyone else because he was like the only person that I knew that smoked weed because weed was not a real big thing. But I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so dangerous. We totally held hands a couple times.
You slut.
Slut. And it was totally during a theater competition because somebody else had a crush on him. And then we sat next to each other and we totally sweaty palmed it up. And then the girl confronted me and was just like, I saw you were holding hands with your man. And I'm just like, if you had a man, why would he be holding hands with someone else?
Wait. So she said, I saw you holding hands with my man, or I'm
Mhm.
holding hands with your man.
She said, I saw you holding hands with my man. So she
Oh,
was
okay.
saying
You
that's
said your
her
the
man.
first- You said your man the first time, so I thought it was like, yeah, he's my man. What? Listen, just so we're at a completely honest world, Stacey's sweaty palming it up was happening at the same time Chelsea was giving a hand job on the backstage. So, like,
First of all, that happened?
yeah,
Oh my gosh. Chelsea.
it was a good day. I don't know. We had a good time.
For him?
It was a good day for me too.
Did he get out on cue?
No, that's the funny part actually. He was like tech for that specific play. And then I was only like out. I wasn't out for like 10 minutes, and there was this really big tree.
You did it during that show? You whoremonger. God saw.
Well, we started out, we were just making out, and then all of a sudden we weren't just making out, and nobody else was around, and it was dark. So He was a really good kisser. He was a really good kisser. You know this. I want you to act. I love that you're acting surprised because you've already given me this surprise reaction when I told you like 2 years ago.
It gets me every time, apparently. Is there I can't is there alliteration with their name?
No.
Okay, then I don't know who it is.
I don't know who that would be either.
I'll tell you after the show.
Okay, great. We so yeah, I don't know. I was like, listen, I wasn't like this crazy hoochie mama in high school.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But I definitely had a couple moments. I had just broken up with somebody and I wasn't feeling particularly like great about myself, and somebody saw an opportunity and definitely took advantage of that opportunity. I mean, I took advantage of it too, so
and everyone walked away with a smile on their face.
I mean, we definitely did.
I have no idea.
This is the funny thing about like drama, because even in like even
As in theater?
Yeah, like as in theater, not in drama, but like
right, thank you.
As in theater, like even when we were, because you put yourself in situations where you have to like touch each other on stage, and even something as simple as like holding hands on stage, like is that physical contact that I don't get anywhere at all, basically.
Waiting for marriage.
You have to really become comfortable with people. And so like there was an entire point. I need a guy's name.
Dr. Jared Kalu.
Okay. So Jared Kalu, there was one point where Jared Kalu, myself, and this other girl were waiting he was working backstage. She and I were waiting to go on stage, and we were just like having a conversation, and somehow it gets to like, she was like, oh, my butt's really sore, my quads are sore or something, and he's like, oh, you got to do this stretch, but make sure you're like squeezing your butt so you know that the muscles are engaged or something, which actually is really bullshit answer, because stretching actually involves relaxing your muscles. But anyway, and
make sure you stick your chest out, and also when you pull the collar of your shirt down while you're doing it really helps you stretch your breastplate.
Well, and then he was like, I should check. And then he like grabbed my butt, and I was like, oh, well, but this is where we were in high school, because my response was, well, you check her, which is 100% something you and I did, Stacey. Like,
she got a hickey before I did. Get her.
Yeah, just get her. You better get her.
Oh.
Hi, Sheila. Thanks for listening. Check this out.
Sheila.
Oh, I love your profile picture, girl. You're so cute. But yeah, so we but I feel like we were so touchy-feely with each other, even in just like with casual friendships. We were so huggy and touchy because we had to be on stage and be whatever we needed to be. So therefore it just kind of translated. And then, I don't know, I just feel like sometimes it was just translated into more. But
so that's fascinating that you say that, because now that I'm thinking about it, the guys like legit friends, but the guys I was close to, like, yeah, we definitely were like, we didn't like kiss or anything, but because it was a platonic friendship, but we were definitely really like close, like within proximity.
Like, it would not have shocked me if a guy had just walked up in theater class and just started rubbing my shoulders or like doing whatever. Like, it wasn't something that was taken as like a sexual thing. It was like, it was just, this is our team and we're all very close and we have to be in order to be convincing in our portrayals. And
when you think about it, we spent like every weekend together.
Right.
And we were all like changing and getting naked backstage, because if you had a costume change, especially if you had to wear Spanx and tights and all that crap. Like, I'm not bitter, am I?
Are you?
Like, and we were like, you would have like guys and girls like changing backstage together and then just like running back out. Like you had it all the time. And it's funny now that I think about it. So there was one guy in that same play, Dr. Alex Park, and there is this random photo, because what was it? I know like a bunch of the guys had gotten their nips pierced like on spring break. So I was just like, you're an idiot if you really did that. If you really did that. He's like, do you want to see it? I'm like, absolutely not. He's just like, I'm gonna show it to you. I'm like, absolutely not. We ended up fighting and I got pinned to the ground. And there's a picture of me like lying on my back going, no, and him like putting his shirt over my head, like, look at it. Like it's an actual picture. Platonic.
Completely platonic. That was the interesting part. And I think that's the part where people like on the outside of that in high school didn't get it. They'd be like, wow, so you guys just like all dating? It's like, no. Don't be weird.
Right? Like, ew, gross. We're in theater together.
But yeah, so these are my high school. These girls that are in high school are making me think of my high school experience.
Man. Wow. Yeah, I only like held hands with someone. That was it.
No, but even then, like with your BFF, I don't have a boy's name, but even when he was in school with us, like he was very huggy on everybody, but it was never taken as a bad thing. But especially, I would say, even especially with you, just because you guys were super close.
Yeah, we will call him Dash Snyder.
Nice.
And it's funny because when we did go away to whatever, it was probably, maybe it was what was it? The Big Thespian Festival? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
But we went to that. And so he had like, there was someone like selling roses or flowers or something like that for $1. So he bought like 10 of them. I remember us getting on the bus and he like passed them out like to everyone. And all the girls were just like, oh my gosh, this is so sweet. Oh my gosh, Snyder, this is so cute. And he's like, I got one for you. I'm like, you're so full of crap. But I remember because he had like one of the girls he had a specific crush on. So I remember like afterward when we went to right. So we went back to our hotel rooms, like me and him, like we were really close. So at one point it was just me and him chilling in his hotel room. We were just close. Now, if the chaperones found out, yes, like I would have had been sent home. But like we were just sitting there talking. I'm just like, okay, but she gave everyone a flower and all that stuff. But who did you really want to get the flower? He's like, well, you know who I really wanted to get. I was just like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do because there's the dance tonight. I'm like, you are gonna ask to dance with her, aren't you? I'm like, because this is the time to do it. Because if you do it at a regular school dance, then you got everybody watching. But here it's just a secluded group of people. We're already cool. And even if she isn't feeling it like that, like it doesn't take away from the closeness. I'm like, so you got to pounce on that opportunity. So we're just like going through game plans, just like, oh yeah, awesome. So it's just like, oh, do you want to watch TV or should we maybe like get going because we have to meet downstairs by whatever? I'm like, yeah, we should probably get going because we'll probably just watch TV and then just be here forever. So it's like, okay, let's go. But it's like anyone else would be like, I'm sorry, you were with a male in a hotel room,
right,
alone with the door closed, like,
right. Well,
and you're
even
underage.
Even now, in that same friendship, Stacey, would you put yourself in that position?
Oh, absolutely.
No, I'm saying like even right now where he has like, I know with you and him, it's very like trusting and everything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like even, okay, maybe I don't mean him specifically, but I'm saying now as the adult that you've become, would you put yourself in a situation where you would be alone with a platonic friend in a hotel room? Because I wouldn't. Like if it were a man of the opposite sex, I wouldn't. Like if it were just
like a random guy.
No, even if he was my friend.
As opposed to a man of the same sex. What is a man of the opposite sex? What?
Stop, Dave. You know what I mean.
He had one.
No, I mean like that's valid, but no, I mean like I think just the trust that was there when we were in high school and the implied innocence of it, I think goes away as you become an adult.
Oh,
mind you, the implied innocence is there for Stacey still. She innocent.
Innocent.
She is.
I am that innocent. it, Brittany. Yeah, I definitely still would have, like with those people that we're close with, I still feel like, because the ones I still talk to, like I would still feel comfortable. I would say 2/3 of them, I still would have done it again and it felt fine. But like the
Like
one,
even now as an adult?
I will tell you that the one that we had sweaty palms with together, I would not.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
no, most of mine are a no. I wouldn't. But also I think that's because like over my adult life I've earned a whole bunch of trust issues. So
Mm.
so I'd be like, even if everything was like, this is super innocent, I'd be like, cool, I'll see you later. Bye. Like I got a massage at my chiropractor for the first time from the male massage therapist, and he like really dug into it. I talked
That's
about
why I
this
like
on the
males.
show. I talked about this on the show, but literally like he started like, I mean, and it was very like specific to the musculature and everything. Like there was nothing sexual about it, but legitimately I was like, oh my God, it's a man and he's touching me.
Really?
Like, I genuinely, knowing that that was a completely platonic situation, and because I don't have that kind of a like touch closeness with really anybody anymore, because that's not who I'm not a drama kid running around. I mean, when I do the community theater, it gets a little like that, but we're still adults, you know? So
That's interesting. I guess this does speak to our personalities, because the last time I got a massage and it was by a male, and we talked about on the show how he was like very talkative, and I thought it was hysterical. And I took it as platonic because I'm like, you are here, you were hired to do a specific service. Therefore, I felt safe the entire time. And I went a little too hard on the elliptical back in the day when I used to work out. What is that? And so I was just like, I really need you to spend time like on my calves and on my quads. And I specifically wanted a male so he could really just get at my legs. And so he was just like, and I told you this deep voice, he was just like, oh yeah, you really went hard on the elliptical. And I was just like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty ridiculous. He was like talking the whole time, but I felt at ease, even though it's like I'm, practically naked. And this man is like touching my body, but I didn't feel uncomfortable at all.
and then and he like this guy, whatever his name is, whatever we feel like calling him, but he was he was rubbing, and I was like, oh snap, like this lovely muscle, this chest muscle right here, he was right, and I was like, oh my God, that wow. I'm first off, it's great because he does a really good job and like genuinely what he's doing. Secondly, I know it's his job. I know that that's not what it is for him, but for me, because I don't have that relationship where someone gives me that physical touch, I think the physical touch means more regardless of who it comes from. Where it's like, people walk up behind me and they'll like touch my back and I'll be like, weird, okay, someone's touching me. because nobody really does. I don't know. Does that sound sad? Maybe that
No,
sounds
that sounds like
meant it.
2020, first of all, because I was just telling someone I miss hugs. Like a kid
2020,
I got like a hug.
me.
But even like, because I don't get, touched by other people often either, but just specifically speaking to the massage, like I felt very at ease, even though it was a black man at that matter, with a deep voice, I still felt comfortable.
See, and I think like, no, mind you, I definitely have the ability to get like physically touched.
Physical challenge.
But like that's different than somebody like coming up to me like fully clothed and like starting to rub my shoulders and being like, hey sweetie, like if somebody did that to me now with the life that I'm in, as opposed, even though people in high school would do that to me all the time, if somebody did that to me now, I would literally be like, sexual predator, back the F away from me, I have mace.
I feel you on that one. I'd turn around, I'd be like, not your body. I feel you. Okay. I feel you on that one.
There you go. That's where I was going.
Okay. I had to get out of the spa.
You have to get out of the spa and into like a real life uncomfortable touching. Yeah. But real life uncomfortable touching. So
not in my dreams where it was not uncomfortable at all.
Stacy was having, I mentioned something at the very, very beginning, I think before we even started, or maybe right
yes. No,
should
we
we
talked
do-
about. Oh yeah,
Should we sing the thing? Should we try?
sure,
Oh,
sure.
all right. It's time for Virgin with Questions. Stacey is celibate,
By choice.
and sometimes she has questions.
Like all the time. So we were talking about when we were texting and Chelsea fell asleep, which is fine because I was done saying what I had to say anyways. And I was just like, you know what? You're doing it with 3 people. Like you got to pencil people in for some things. You were texting 3 people. That's what I meant, you 14-year-old boy. And so I was just like, oh, like sometimes you have to schedule things out, like you get in where you fit in. And she giggled. And I'm like, I don't understand. Wait, what does that mean? I'm like, wait, that's a thing? That was a thing. I didn't know. Like,
Yeah, so okay, so there are several. I mean, like first off, let me not make this just about
big
men.
ones, small ones, skinny ones, long ones.
But it's not just about men. Like women, every woman has a different vagina, and like there's long lips and there's short lips and there's there's like it's everything is different, and everything, that's why you have to figure out what moves work when you play each game, because not every game has the same moves to get you to the final bosses. So that's my
There's
video.
Xbox and there's PlayStation. There's 2 different systems.
So, but on the same flip side of that, there are men who have too big of penises that just it's never going anywhere, and then there's men who you look and go, oh, on that's rough. So, I mean, Dave, are we okay on time, or can I
Yeah, no, you're totally good.
Can I go into a
He's like, no,
personal
I'm here for the
penis
pee.
story?
Let's talk about it.
I'm always here for Stacey questions.
Can I go into a personal penis story?
Get you a Dave. He's clutch.
So, now if we start talking about penis stories, we're gonna have to be like, it's a PPP alert, a personal penis story. There's only 2 P's in that, but
It's like that would be a PPS.
PPS.
Not
Guys,
sponsored by PBS.
I'm working all day. It's my brain is slowly like, you're done. So anyway, so I need a boy's name, Stace.
I need a boy. Dr. Jackson Hahn.
Yeah. Okay. So Dr. Jackson Hahn and I dated in college, and this poor man. All right. So Dr. Jackson Hahn, yes, Stacey already knows, but so he
I had a similar experience with a different doctor.
Had such a small penis that it only went out or up. There was no, like when it was relaxed, it didn't go down. It wasn't enough weight for it to go down. So like if it would either be up in the band of his underwear or it was out for adventures. And and I remember seeing that and being like, oh wow, that's a small dick. Okay. And I actually went back to my roommate because I had only ever seen one penis before that. And and I went back to my roommate. I was like, I think I might have made a mistake.
But however, that's why when I think about that, because there was a guy that I dated and he alluded to that same issue, and then I saw it and I was just like, oh, interesting. And I too remember telling a friend about it. She was just like, oh, well, that's awesome, because if anything happens, you're a virgin, so at least you'll experience it, like you'll actually feel it. I was like, that's a really good point.
And you might still be after, who knows?
That's what she said too.
Which is funny because I lost my virginity to that guy, and it was
right. So you felt it.
I did. And actually I felt it. It hurt. I remember thinking afterwards, well, it's a good thing I didn't lose it to the other guy because that would have hurt way worse. So
there was a Saturday Night Live when Tina Fey was still on it and she was doing Weekend Update, probably with Jimmy Fallon. But or Amy Poehler, whichever. But she was just like, there's rumors that Shaquille O'Neal and Cindy Crawford went on a date. This just in, Cindy Crawford has been torn in half.
Well, so then on the flip side of that, I dated a guy who had it. It was uncomfortable. Like, that's the only way to describe it. It was like if you took your fist flat on a table and then you put another fist on it, and then it was like probably another 2 inches outside of that fist. And I remember looking at it and being like, yeah, that's not gonna fit. So good luck. Like, it was, sorry, Dad.
I mean, I've heard of from what was it? From who was I just talking about? What did I say his name was? What did I say his name was? Maybe I didn't give him the name.
Are you
But
talking about your
anyways,
friend?
yes. Dash
Yeah.
Snyder.
There it is.
Because he would always like share with me, we joke that I'm his thesaurus of his dictionary of all of his like conquests, because I remember them and I'm like, why are you dating this person? This is just like what happened with blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh wow, I forgot all about them. I'm like, I know you did. But he was saying something and he talked about bottoming out. I'm like, bottoming out? I was like, what does that mean? And they explained it. I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, that.
Wait, Stacey, wait, for our listeners, why don't you tell them what bottoming out is?
So
Somebody brought this
basically,
to the table,
when
so.
the male.
I
So
love that you're
if my
making her
memory
explain this. That's amazing.
I know.
so if my memory serves me correctly, it's when the male has reached the end of the tunnel.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So first of all, it's just like, wait a minute, there's an end? And I'm like, wait a minute. So there's like, wow, like this is just, it was a whole new layer I was not prepared to learn about. I was just like, really? But I'm like, well, how does that feel for her? Because if you feel uncomfortable, well, what the heck was she feeling? Like, is she bruised inside?
Also uncomfortable. Yes, the answer is also uncomfortable.
It's just part of you just like remaining like outside, hanging out, waiting to get in the club, / it never gets into the club.
Yeah,
Well, it's at capacity.
100%. But the reality,
more
the club
like
is at
70.
capacity for her. But the problem is unfortunately a lot of times those guys like to see how far they can go, so they want positions that get you a little bit more of an angle that gets them further in, which unfortunately hurts worse, and you literally feel like you're gonna just get at any moment flown across the room.
Really?
It's not fun. Those guys suck. Now, mind you, I am sure that there's a man out there and he has a giant dick and he's like, no, I take care of my woman. I make sure that she feels good. Good for you, sir. You're the minority. Those guys that are walking around with those ridiculous schlongs, they're like, oh, I'm going to see how far I can get it in and it's just going to keep coming and she's not going to feel anything the next day at all. And it hurts.
Fascinating.
So I feel like if I had to choose between this and this, I would choose this, because at least then I can like function the next day.
So then let me ask this. So with people that are more active on a regular basis, so let's say that they were with a larger one for a very long time, and then that, like, you know, they broke up and the next person they were with was like back to the thumb size, like, would it still be pleasurable to them?
Okay, so if a woman is doing her Kegels, then the elasticity of the vaginal canal is like, it'll come right back. Basically, the average size of the canal is like 4 to 5 inches, and then it stretches beyond that. But like, you know, like it'll come back. But there are people who say that they have like blown out their, you know what's, and they're just, that's where plastic surgery and vaginal rejuvenation comes in.
Because I'm thinking of like having babies, because of course you start small, right, but then you birth a child, so like clearly there's some give there. But I just wondered like how different it would be after.
I mean, I've heard I've heard guys use really, really bad analogies that are like make the feminist in me get mad, where they're like, oh, it's like how if you get in a car accident and they fix your car and they give it back to you, but it just doesn't feel like exactly the same. Yeah. Like, I know, because guys said that too. Like, I've had guys say that, and I'm like, never say that to another woman, sir.
Ever. She's had your child, dear God, and you mad. You went through 9 months. Get the heck out of here.
I know, right? There was some movie, and he was like, they were talking about pregnancy and everything, and this one guy is like holding a pillow in the corner, and he was like, it was like my favorite pub burned down.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you can't say that. Oh man. But yes, so penises come in all shapes and sizes and are equally not enjoyable on every end of that spectrum.
Wow. Next week, we will discuss more cushion for the pushin'. I said that to my dad because we were watching something. Wait. Stop it! We were watching Wheel of Fortune, and so there was like a larger woman on there. And so my dad, apparently used to have like an affinity for like curvier women, apparently. Because whenever he'd see a curvy woman, he'd be like, "Did you see that one?" Like, every one time we were at Meijer, and he was just like, "Did you see the lady back there? You can rest an air conditioning on her behind." I'm like, why is this appropriate? This is like when I was in college. Like, so then we were watching Wheel of Fortune one time, and there's like a curvier woman. And so my dad was just like, "Ooh, look at that one." I was like, "Yeah, more cushion for the push." And he said, "What did you just say?" I'm like, "First of all, I feel like I learned that from you, and maybe I didn't realize what that meant until just now."
I'm sorry, Dad.
I'm so sorry. Oh man, but we gotta wrap up. Sorry.
Thank you guys so much for listening. As always, go on to iTunes and rate and review us. That really is how other people get to hear our show. If you enjoyed it and you're watching us live, make sure to click a like on the post that you're seeing right now, right there. Hit that button.
Do it.
Also, if you want to hang out with us, I promise I'll be more active on Instagram and Twitter if you guys like it. On Instagram and Twitter, we're at RWIS Podcast. And if you send us a message, we will reply. We're actually pretty good about that. But that's Stacy.
That's Chelsea. This is Reasons Why I'm Single. We'll see you next week. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I realize I always run out of breath when I say it.